Welcome back, my friends.
To the show that never ends.
We're so glad you could attend.
I forget the next line.
Come inside is the next line of Carnival 9 first impression.
Not a boomer.
It's literally true. Even when the next box is closed, it radiates a heavy aura, one that is almost intimidating whenever I come near it. I place it in the drawer.
Kind of like most boxes.
Wait, what?
They're terrifying.
What's so terrifying about boxes? They're just rectangular prisms. Oh, geometry. Okay. You could have just said that. Oh, hold on. I place it in the drawer and seal it away, a sigh of relief following. 2 down, 1 to go.
Whoa, there's only one more piece left?
I think so. There's only some experts writing about historical relevance after the next entry. Flopping down on the couch next to Marina, I take a sip of my coffee and flip to the final entry of the journal. Marina glosses over the page, a hazy look forming in her eyes as she soaks it in.
I can't believe it's almost over.
I can. Yeah, it's weird that it hasn't even been that long.
Yeah, it really is.
The motorhome goes quiet, the buzz of the generator humming in the background. Well, it's not over yet. We still have to figure out where it is, and then there's still the search. I think Marina's enthusiasm is becoming infectious. She simply nods now, just gazing into her lap. Well, let's see what it says.
After several days of travel, I believe I have finally arrived at my first destination. It is well known I have an astute eye for locations. After all, this is how I found my precious bounty. So it is no mistake that I easily found the perfect hiding spot within this valley. I arrived on horseback at the blistering peak of noon. Looking for shelter from the coming night, I began noticing something different, something distinct. Crimson, all of it. Shades lighter than pink and darker than blood. The color stained it all. From giant unmovable stones to the tiniest grains of sand. It was as if the land had absorbed the sun's heat and reflected it outwards. Even at sunset, the cave I settled in emanated a bright red glow that speckled out from its opening. That night, as I lay on the ground, watching the flames of my fire shoot up to the cave's roof, I wondered if there were more places like this out in this unsettled land. During my travels on the trail, I was too preoccupied with preparations to observe the world around me. But now that I have achieved success, maybe I shall. It would be a shame if my superb observational skills went to waste.
Was he trying to create a treasure hunt? I was never certain about the other locations, and considering how many giant rocks, canyons, and arches are in this country, most of them were probably just a fluke. But this is unmistakable. The vivid and breathtaking imagery, the constant allusions to flames, and most importantly, the heat. He hid it in the Valley of Fire. Marina snaps back to attention, my conviction pulling her back from Marina Land. It's like a theme park.
Yeah.
Can I get season tickets?
Yeah, sure.
I really want to ride the rides at Marina Land. If you
are we flirting? Are you? Was that a come on?
Is it working?
Okay.
Is a come on one of the rides at Marina Land?
Sure. If you're into that. Anyway, are you sure?
Positive. There's no other place it could be.
Oh.
She might as well have shot down my momentum with an elephant gun. Oh? That's all?
Yep.
No. Oh. What's that? A place always on fire?
I mean, it's right in the name. I already know it's always on fire.
She narrows her eyes to an unimpressed squint. If they could shoot lasers, they would be right now.
Amber, how dumb do you think I am?
I didn't say you were
Always on fire? Really?
Now I feel dumb for saying it.
You probably should.
Ouch. If her enthusiasm is infectious, then so is my unrelenting realism. It's corrupting her innocence.
By the way, what's the Valley of Fire?
Well, maybe not too infectious.
Whoa.
Did you get attacked?
Yeah, the mic fell over.
It's all right. Is Michaela okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the important part.
Yeah, that's true.
Massaging my scalp, I shake my hair, hopefully creating enough new wrinkles in my brain that will help with explaining this. All right, so you take a whole bunch of rocks, sand, and dirt, okay? I'll wait. Go gather some.
Yay! I'll be right back. Okay, I'm done.
Now, make most of it red.
With, like, blood?
No, just, it doesn't have to be. I mean, blood isn't really red once it's done drying. It's more kind of like a crusty brown. You're going to want...
I guess we'll need to keep it fresh.
My explanation is met with a vacant stare. I swear it's a lot cooler than I'm making it out to be. Just kind of hard to explain without pictures.
Don't worry, I believe. Sounds awesome. Where is it anyway?
It's a little ways into Nevada.
Nevada?
Her knees bounce, jolting the table.
Are we even old enough to gamble?
There's more in Nevada than Las Vegas, dummy.
Still, isn't that pretty far?
That might work to our benefit. I'll need to check the map again, but I think we'll be passing by a place I want to check out. Her voice brightens.
You actually want to go sightseeing?
Don't act so surprised. It's not like I was going to make a straight shot for California before I picked you up. Besides, I think you might like it. Though she does like virtually everything. It's a place called Zion. Oh, Zion's nice! Oh, Zion is great too.
I remember that from The Matrix.
It's not... Okay. It's a national park here in Utah. I hear it's a hell of a lot greener than the places we've been through. I know we're in a rush, so we don't have to stay very long. She's going to burst from excitement, and I still can't resist messing with her. It's cute. But I guess if you don't think we can afford the time... I expect her to throw herself at me, hug me, squeeze me with all the energy and happiness she usually does it with. But she doesn't. Sitting perfectly still, Marina takes a single breath and gazes at me with a smile.
I've been surrounded by desert all my life. Seeing green for once would be nice.
Oh, is that why she wears green?
Yeah.
Is that emblematic of her desire to get out of her hometown?
Sure is.
Or that just green looks nice?
Also, it's emblematic of I like green, and I don't have any other clothes. Anyway, I'd love to go with you, Amber.
Has some real, the curtains were fucking blue energy. An unsettling hollowness expands in my chest, so I realize I don't know how to deal with a serious Marina. Oh. All right then. She doesn't answer, eyes now closed, arms folded in her lap, the empty cooperative smile more forced than ever. Well, there's still a lot of hours left in the day. I'm not sure we'll make it in time to check into the campground, but we'll be close enough that we can do it in the morning if we leave now. Marina nods. Are you okay? Are you, like, broken? Do I have to replace a part?
Yeah, the nuclear reactor in my back.
What? I thought you were battery powered.
Not anymore. I run on rice.
We scooch out of the booth and then walk the 10 awkward steps to our seats. Strapping ourselves in, I switch on the ignition, the RV snorting into being. I reach for the cassette player, then look to Marina, already lost in her thoughts as she stares out the window. I don't have the heart. No. I don't have the courage to snap her out of it this time. Sighing, I bring my hand back without pressing play and pull the motorhome into drive. It's too bad, too. I think I'm really starting to like Marina's hugs. Hours and several cups of coffee later, we've arrived at our destination, or at least close enough to easily check in the morning, yet hidden enough to not get towed. Marina looks to the window, but her eyes drift back over me, then mine to hers. For one drawn-out second, our eyes are interlocked, petrified by the other's stare. Petrified. Because we're at Zion, and it's funny, I swear.
Okay.
Then time continues. Our heads swing in the other direction so fast it takes my mind a few moments to catch up. The side of her cheek I can see is still flushed. Glancing in the rearview mirror, I find mine are too. I grip the steering wheel, then, cautiously, without turning my head, look back to Marina. She notices. Our eyes connect again. Blush, rinse, repeat. The past 4 hours have been excruciating.
4 hours of just repeatedly looking and blushing and looking away. That's extremely on brand.
Oh my god, it is exactly how this kind of thing works. The past 4 hours have been excruciating, especially while fighting the urge to throw on music. I wanted to give Marina the space she needed to say what she has to, or give myself the space to blurt out what I need to say. It was just... Again, Marina looks. I jump. We blush. Never the right time. Oh, come on, you two! Ah! Deciding I've had enough, I hop out of my seat and stretch. Marina follows. I grab my mug from the holder and drag myself across the starchy carpet to the sink. A small jolt shocks my finger as I reach for the faucet. The mug slips from my hand and crashes onto the counter, splashing coffee everywhere. I'm not doing the Foley work for that part. I need this cup. Crap.
Let me help.
Marina springs over and reaches for a kitchen rag, but I swat her down her hand and grab it just as she does. Don't worry. Now we're forced to look directly at each other, but there's no blushing this time. I nod and pull away the rag as her fingers slide down the fabric. I got this. She stares down at the counter, the spilled coffee trickling onto the floor with a steady drip.
Oh.
Without another word, she slouches back to the couch. If you give me a second, I can set up the bed. The bed's metal frame slams down with a loud clank that vibrates underneath my feet, followed by the couch cushion swishing past me, landing on the other side of the motorhome. For ya. Damn it. Whatever, I'll deal with this in the morning. I toss the rag into the sink and head to my room, hesitating in front of the slider. Please don't let it end like this.
Amber.
There's a pause. Several times I hear small gasps like she's about to speak, but they all just melt into sighs.
Good night.
Good night. As my hand balls into a fist, my fingernails clawing deep into my skin, I step into the room and shut the slider behind me, immediately throwing my face onto the pillow. I can feel my heart pounding as I roll onto my back. Lying there, twisted up in my sheet, it just keeps getting beating and beating, never settling down. Managing to lift myself up on my elbows, I look at the picture next to the slider. The one with the vinyl sleeve. I still remember how his hand felt against my head, from the bony joints of his fingers to how their calluses massaged my scalp. For such a breezy old man, it's amazing to think just how strong and confident his love was. I let my head fall back against the bed and rest my forearm over my face. Man, what am I going to do, Gramps? What record was it?
What?
What record do we think it was?
What record what was?
Wasn't she holding a record in that photo?
Oh. I have no idea. I did not catch that.
Oh, I must be making that up. Ignore me! A brisk wind curls around me as I step out onto a patch of dirt that can barely be called a parking spot in a place that can barely be called a campground. Misty curtains have settled over the nearby hills, and mountains and small specks of leftover morning dew occasionally drip on me from above. Bending down, I drop my backpack and pull on the tongue of my sorta new hiking boots. A little big, but they'll work. Considering these came from a stash of supplies we borrowed from Mariah in New Mexico, her feet must be freaking huge.
All set?
Marina is standing behind me, frowning at her own Velcro-strapped boots. Just about. These boots are pretty big, though.
You think so? They feel a bit snug to me.
Sheesh, never mind about Mariah. Hey, forget about the treasure. Let's just dress you up as Bigfoot and turn you in for a cash reward. The joke is awful and I know it. Still, Marina plays along, sticking her tongue out in a half-playful manner before she forces a tired smile. The whole time she doesn't make eye contact. So much for lightening the mood. Last night's sudden tension is still present. Even though we try to ignore it or pretend it isn't there, we both know. We both can't look at each other directly and our conversation feels awkward and stilted. But we pretend everything's normal as we try to put on our best performances and reenact our usual routine.
So, how long is the hike?
Brochure said about 90 minutes each way. Might take even longer in this weather.
Oh.
I can feel the gulf between us. It's like yet another canyon, except I don't know how to cross this one.
The picture in the brochure was super pretty. Angel's Landing, right?
Now it's her turn to try to lighten the mood. I hate how we're both too afraid to just address the issue. But I'm just as guilty as she is here. I sigh and play along as best I can. Yeah, it's nice. It's a supposed to be the most scenic view in Zion. That's what Gramps told me anyway. This hike was one of his favorites. Said the view was so lush that there's so many types of trees and plants that he discovered several new shades of green up there. It's one of the spots that he was most looking forward to while visiting with me. I glanced back up at the mountains. The mist doesn't look like it'll clear anytime soon. In fact, it seems to be swallowing up more of the landscape. It's got Marina's attention too. She stares up as if she's picking out specific details in the fog. While she's distracted, I let my gaze rove over her again, guiltily like I'm sneaking glances, but I don't care. Admiring the sweep of her shoulders down to her collarbone and the rest of the curves of her body. I let myself examine her like I did when we first met, and like I've been consciously abstaining from looking her over like it doesn't matter if she catches me over anymore. She doesn't, though. I may as well be invisible to her right now while she studies the mountaintops. I want her to pay attention to me. She's wearing her usual boutique brand clothes, their cute frilliness just as perfect as ever for Marina, but they clash with the clunkiness of the ugly brown roots. Boots is what I meant to say. You sure you want to wear that? It might just get in the way. She gasps, almost offended by the suggestion that she wear anything else.
But my skirt is so comfy. Aren't you supposed to wear comfy clothes on hikes? Besides, with a name like Angel's Landing, it has to be pretty relaxing.
She gives me a big, honest smile, tipping her head to the hills. It's the first real smile I've seen from her all day.
So, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
I melt, letting her skewed reasoning fall into the wayside just this once. Warm fuzzies and a goofy grin take over my dour mood, just for a moment. All right, but no whining if they end up being a problem. Slinging the backpack over my shoulder, we head for the shuttle that leads to the trail. Logs and a stone fire pit adorn the side of each lot that we pass. Maybe when we get back, we'll go to the camp store and pick up some supplies to roast marshmallows. I think she'd like that. Oh yeah, we only get glimpses of it because of the text box, but yeah, it's hard to... That is not a good skirt for hiking. Marina's heavy breathing guides me as we slog our way uphill, the previous light mist having now morphed into a thick, dreary fog. I cling to the chained railing as I stumble my way up the trail of rocks. It's the only protection from the sheer drop-off beside us. All it would take is one slip for me to take a nosedive into the valley below, and I wouldn't even see it coming. Turns out the fluffy and enticing name Angel's Landing doesn't come with the relaxing stroll Marina was hoping for. It feels more like a ghastly death march. My sweat-drenched legs feel like pudding under the anchor that is a measly 5-pound backpack. No one else on the shuttle even bothered to attempt the hike alongside us. I attempt to form words between pained breaths, feeling like a rock is being smashed into my lungs with each step. We should turn back. I can't see Jack. It's not safe up here.
What?
She sounds like she's doing about as well as me, echoing the same lung-puncturing gasps.
But we're so close. There's no way we're not almost there.
We stop, collapsing against our knees as we try to catch our breath. Not going to mean a whole lot if we end up falling off a cliff.
I thought you were the one who wanted to do this so bad.
Every couple of words are punctuated by her gasping for breath. Yeah, but...
Amber, please. Let's keep going.
Her voice is a whimper, fragile and meek. I fold. Okay. Marina has a way of making me shut up when she wants to, whether she knows it or not. Today it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to be the one who makes things worse. She's wrong about one thing, though. I wasn't the one who wanted to hike up here. Gramps was. It gets easier after our break. The trail begins to plateau and the steepness evens out, fading behind us until the return trip.
Oh, I think we're already here. See, what did I tell you?
Marina darts ahead, disappearing into the fog so she can look at the mythical view that the brochure and I have preached to her, and Gramps to me. But if my suspicions are right, this weather and the view aren't going to be very compatible. Following behind, I step out of the cloudy murk and into an area that offers only slightly more visibility. Marina stands still in the center of the cliff, her hand clutched to her heart. What should have been a bird's eye view of Zion is nothing but a sea of fog. The lush greenery and full valleys are invisible. Only a few overgrown bushes and some rocky points peek out from above the clouds. I was expecting it, but the sight itself is really numbing. The hollowness in my stomach, the one I've gotten so used to feeling, rears its head once again, only intensified by Marina's silence, an expression shrouded by her bangs as she tilts her head down. I'm sorry. Gently, she shakes her head.
Don't worry about it. It's not your fault.
That was clearly an empathic sorry rather than an admission of guilt, but...
You tried to warn me.
Marina... But I don't know what to say. I'm disappointed, too. There were a lot of places Gramps always talked about visiting. After we settle down and kick back for a few years. After I finish repairing the RV. After I get better. This place came up more than the others, though. Not just Zion, but the landing. Kept saying we were going to hike up here, have a picnic, maybe watch the sun come up. A slight smile comes to my face as I think about him trying to make that hike. I'd have liked to see the geezer try. While I'm not a big enough sap to try to make all of my and Gramps' plans happen now, it would have been nice to see the view. With Gramps, Marina, and everything that's happened over the past month, it just seemed fitting to make the trip. Angel's Landing. I glanced back to Marina, the hand that was clutched to her chest now stretched outwards, grasping at the empty air. A slight breeze blows through, ruffling her hair. She looks beautiful. She looks angelic. I didn't go to church much as a kid, but she looks like someone I'd see on a stained glass window right next to a rendition of Calvary or Skull Hill. It's frustrating to have come this far for nothing. But is it because of the fog? Because of Gramps? Or because of Marina? My teeth grit, grinding against each other under what feels like an unimaginable weight. Come on, let's go. I turn around and begin down the slope. There's nothing else worth seeing up here. Marina doesn't follow. No spirited footsteps trailing behind me. No speeding bullet blazing ahead. Marina, we're going. It comes out with more bite than I intended, but I don't care. I just want to get out of here now. Marina is hesitant to answer, but eventually manages to spit it out, sounding more like a question than an actual statement.
I don't want to?
What?
I don't want to leave. Not yet, anyway.
Annoyed, I turn back to her for an explanation, only to be greeted by a pleading look instead.
I'm used to it by now. I know I am, but do you think we could wait a little longer just to see if the fog clears?
I don't know what it is. I respond with a blank stare. It's like she's not even talking to me. Don't be stupid. I start back down the hill, not bothering to wait for Marina this time. It's past noon. If it hasn't cleared by now, then it's not going to anytime soon. So much for not making things worse. Uh-oh. I nudge the fire with the stick. It doesn't do any good, though, as the logs just tumble on top of each other, smoldering with the already pitiful flame. For a moment, our lot is only lit by the few remaining embers in the pit. Sighing, I grab the bottle of lighter fluid and squirt it onto the ashes. An artificial flame roars into existence, then peters to the size of a pathetic candle flicker just as quickly. I plunge the stick back into the fire and scrape cinders from the glowing wood. Eventually, a flame catches on a charred log and grows until the pit is blazing once again. Ha ha! About damn time. The joy is exclusive to me, however, as Marina stays silent, staring into the fire. Want another s'more? She bounces back to life.
Oh my god, yes, please.
She catches herself and switches back to broodiness.
I mean, sure, I guess.
I roll my eyes, but I can't help smiling on the inside. No matter how hard she tries, she's still the same Marina she always has been. I grab a marshmallow and stick it on the end of a bent coat hanger before handing it to her. Without another word, she plops it into the fire. Meanwhile, my eyes are drawn to the neglected bag of hot dogs lying behind the chocolate and graham crackers, unopened and ignored. I bought them because I thought Marina would like the variety, but I should have known that she would only go after the marshmallows. She's been devouring them. She opened the bag when we left the store, and it was half empty by the time we got back to the campsite. She clung to the bag like a security blanket the whole way. It's a miracle there are even any left. Shrugging, I take one of the hot dogs out of the bag and impale it on my coat hanger, then put it in the fire next to Marina's. Even when we're this close to each other, there's still an air of tension. One that's pervaded since we left Arches. Neither of us have addressed it, but the inevitability of the treasure, the thick uneasiness that hangs over us, it's suppressed, but it's definitely there. But it's gotten better since we left Angel's Landing. The snacks were a peace offering of sorts, I guess. Although I was pleasantly surprised that she sat so close to me, even with the other 3 logs around the fire pit. I fix my gaze on the flames. The dog is slimy, oozing with condensation that drips and sizzles in the ashes.
Oh God, it's on fire, fire, fire!
Marina's coat hanger whooshes over me like a spastic comet, the marshmallow now a smoldering ball of inferno. Here, give it to me.
But it's on fire, Amber, fire!
I can see that, just give it. She panics, squirming as her precious marshmallow burns before her very eyes.
All right, just don't hurt yourself, please.
Frantically, she passes me the wire, biting her nails as I try to blow it out. Soon, the fire clears. The marshmallow, once white and fluffy, is now black and charred.
Aw, now it's ruined.
It's no big deal. You can still eat it. Preparing the s'more, I break apart the chocolate and cracker, then squish the marshmallow between them.
Ew, gross. But it's all black and stuff.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Honestly, I think I might prefer it a little burned.
That's so you.
She gives a nervous laugh. Here, just try it. Marina stares at the s'more and gulps.
Fine, but only because you asked.
Help. Closing her eyes, she opens her mouth wide. Wide open. This time it's my turn to gulp. I shuffle back, subtly trying to avoid eye contact and once again failing. I pop the s'more into her mouth and let out a restful sigh. Like bubblegum, she munches on it in the corner of her mouth, intently trying to dissect the flavor in her own cute way. So? Her eyes grow wide in shock.
It's good.
Right? Doesn't it give it like a nice smoky flavor?
Mm-hmm. It's a little bitter at first, but the marshmallow gets really crunchy. So good.
I told you so. You just gotta give these things a shot.
I can't believe I had my first s'more and found a way to make it better in the same day. I feel like that would take most people like a bajillion years to figure out. But it only took me one night, because I got you, Amber.
Gobsmacked? Dumbfounded? They're both stupid, fancy words, but I think they work when trying to figure out this thing sitting beside me.
Amber?
You're kidding me.
What?
Your first s'more?
Well, I've seen people eat them on TV and stuff before, but...
You have never ever had a s'more in your entire life?
Now that I think about it, I guess I haven't.
That confirms it.
Huh? Confirms what?
You're an alien. The government has just been keeping you hidden all this time. That's why I met you near Roswell. That's the only explanation.
I am not. If I were an alien, then why do I look human?
That's just a flesh suit, a disguise so you can blend in.
That's mean. You can't just buy these good looks at the costume store.
What's your sector ID? Is this your first time away from your home planet?
Amber, stop. It's not my fault.
Her face puffs out and I have to resist the urge to poke and deflate it. If I don't quit, she may actually start pouting. I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'm tempted to squeeze one more joke out, but decide against it as I try to hold back the snicker under my breath.
I think I like you better when you're serious.
She crosses her arms, turning away as she closes both eyes to block me out. Then with a grin, one eye open, we both burst out laughing. Since the hike, the fog has climbed down the hill, enveloping the campground. Even here it's carved out a small pocket, the breezy chill surrounding us as we take in the warm glow of the fire. It feels nice. But for real, I still can't believe this is your first time leaving home. She settles down a bit and places her hands in her lap, teetering side to side as she looks to the sky, even though there's nothing to look at but mist.
Yeah, sometimes I have trouble believing it too. Since there's so many of us, I guess Mom and Dad could never afford to take us anywhere.
That's what I thought. If her family is as big as she says, it's not like They could have just packed up and traveled like me and Gramps. You said you have 9 brothers and sisters, right?
Yep, there's 9 of us, plus Mom and Dad, so 11 altogether.
Jesus.
Right? Everyone says our house is pretty big, but it's always been so cramped that I've never been able to tell. I've never even had my own room. I've always had to share one with some of my sisters. My older brothers shared too until one of them went off to college.
Is that the same brother whose car got torn apart by Mariah? She laughs guiltily.
Yeah, he always called it his love wagon.
I did not need to know that. That thing was a love wagon. Then my motorhome is a love palace.
Oh, that's a good name.
It is
for
not.
it.
Do not agree with me. Don't even start.
Anyway, he said he wanted to get a new one when he got to Salt Lake City, so I don't think he'll be too angry.
Hold on, that's in Utah too. Why didn't you tell me? The detour would have been a pain in the ass, but if you wanted to visit him, I wouldn't have minded the extra miles. Not if it was for you. Marina does a double take, and I realize I've given too much away. You'd have to pay for gas, though. Marina blinks, then smiles. Crisis averted.
Nah, it's okay. I want to do this without my family's help. Besides, it's only a community college.
Your brother moved from New Mexico to Utah so he could attend a community college?
Uh-huh. He sends me a gift every month. Last month, it was a top hat. I put it right on top of the desk in my room.
Oh, because it's a top hat, so you have to put it on the top of... Is that... She pauses for a moment.
Mine and my sister's room, I mean.
Your family sounds about as weird as you.
Really? Huh. Yeah, I guess we are.
She beams, wearing the title of weird like a badge of honor. That's not a good... You know what? Actually, maybe it is.
I like it. Besides, Dad keeps us all in line. He's a defense lawyer, super straight-laced.
Oh, are defense lawyers meant to be super straight-laced? I didn't realize defense lawyers were super straight.
if defense lawyers have got to be straight-laced. If they were like some kind of weird screwball who always shows up totally unprepared and then somehow turns the case around at the last minute...
Right?
That would be just fucked up. That would be inappropriate for the job.
Right? Could you imagine just like showing up so unprepared for your job that you have to bluff your way through every single encounter?
Actually, yeah, that's kind of what all my days are like.
Okay, fair enough.
You remind me of him, actually. He likes everything nice and orderly, which is bad for him because he's surrounded by us, but...
She talks for a long time, chattering and laughing about her family, the smile never leaving her face. I almost get lost in it. I almost want to. For the precious minutes that she speaks, I forget the tension that shadowed us since Arches and could believe it was never there. I love that about Marina. Even when we're wet with rain or humoring truck drivers or racing a lunatic down the highway, she never hesitates to smile. I disagree with your characterization of how you were racing down the highway there. I don't think Mariah was the lunatic in that scenario. For her, it's always poised on the brim, waiting to shine through. I could listen all night, but she trails off only a short time later.
Ah, I'm sorry. This must be boring, right?
Nah, I can tell you love him a lot. It was always just me and Gramps, so it's sort of interesting to hear how other families work. The lot falls silent, save for the crackling flames. I brace myself for what I know is coming.
Hey, Amber. What happened to your mom and dad?
I stare into the fire. It pops, casting up delicate embers that fall and vanish in the dirt.
I'm sorry. That was too personal.
No, it's fine. They're both around, I think. Only met Dad once a long time ago. Me and Ma don't get along very well. Haven't spoken to her since I was 16. Last I heard, she was living in some trailer park in Ohio.
Is that why you lived with your grandpa?
Sorta. Ma always had her, issues. So the court said Gramps could take care of me when I was a baby. I stifle a laugh. Not that it did any good. The geezer had the bright idea to haul me around to the Midwest and East Coast for half my life.
He took care of you all by himself? He must have been amazing.
Try again. He was an old hippie who was stuck in the 70s and spent most of his time listening to weird music.
Sounds just like you.
Hey, watch it. If anything, he was more like you. I was always cleaning up his messes, even as a little girl. Even near the... I choked down a growing lump in my throat. even near the end.
Amber,
It was always just the two of us, though. Us or any random old friend he wanted to see. Even when he decided to settle down in Colorado, it was just us. People would come and go, but it was always us. And I was there for all of it. I was there for every single appointment. I was there at the hospital, and I was there at the funeral. Mom didn't even bother to come to that, but I was there. And he was always there, too.
You really miss him, huh?
My voice lowers to a whisper, raspy and dry. Yeah. Something slumps against my shoulder. Glancing down, I discover Marina's head resting against me. What are you doing?
Nothing.
She looks up at me.
Want me to stop?
No, you can, keep doing it.
Okay.
We should turn in soon. We have a big day ahead of us.
Yeah, maybe.
We sit in silence for a little while, or maybe it's a long time. I can't tell. It's a nice silence, though. Comfortable one. Finally. The engine dies. I can still hear the power buzzing before it surges down, leaving us with the ambience of the settling motorhome. We're here.
Not a lot of cars here, huh?
Guess the rest of the world just hasn't caught up yet. That won't last for long. Any day now, people will figure out it's here, and an army of would-be treasure hunters will be swarming this place, drooling at the chance to find gold. The last of the gold. There's a fluttering in my chest, and I tighten my grip on the wheel. It's the end of our adventure.
I bet our names have spread across the land and struck fear into the hearts of our rivals, giving them no other choice but to call it quits.
Yeah, or maybe someone already came through and found the treasure.
What? Don't say something scary like that.
Still wrapped around the wheel, my clammy hand starts shaking. Marina takes notice, looking over with sympathetic eyes.
Hey.
She takes her hand and gently places it on top of mine, giving it a reassuring squeeze. I let both fall into my lap. She's warm.
We're doing this together, okay?
The flutters tickle the inside of my chest until I can't stop smiling. Right. Let's do it. Regretfully, I force out a nod and pull my hand out from Marina's. It feels wrong, like throwing away a precious gift. Reaching onto the console, I retrieve the journal for what may be the last time. It's well loved. Bent spine, wrinkled pages, and folded corners on the flimsy paper cover. Looking back, it's been getting roughed up since the moment we got it. Or since that weird station attendant let Marina have it for free way back at the Traveler's store. Hard to believe this cheap thing was the roadmap to something so valuable. Taking a deep breath, I skim over the final entry.
After several days of travel, I believe I have finally arrived at my first destination. It is well known that I have an astute eye for locations. I feel like I did this one previously.
I believe you darn did.
After all, this is how I found my precious bounty, so it is no mistake that I easily found the perfect hiding place within this valley. I arrived on horseback at the blistering peak of noon. Looking for shelter from the coming night, I began noticing something different, something distinct. Crimson, all of it. Shades lighter than pink and darker than blood. The color stained it all. From giant unmovable stones to the tiniest grains of sand. It was as if the land had absorbed the sun's heat and reflected it outwards. Even at sunset, the cave I settled in emanated a bright red glow that speckled out from its opening. That night, as I laid on the ground watching the flames of my fire shoot up to the cave's roof, I wondered if there were more places like this out in this unsettled land. During my travels on the trail, I was too preoccupied with preparations to observe the world around me. But now that I have achieved success, maybe I shall. It would be a shame if my superb observational skills went to waste.
Windstoned Arch. It's probably the vaguest entry so far, but I can feel it. It has to be there. I slapped the journal shut and lay it to rest in the center console, right next to all the cassette tapes. Marina and I look at each other, now sharing the same piercing determination. Right. Let's get the show on the road. Because of the lack of crowds, getting around is a lot easier than usual, allowing us to take in the scenery for once instead of slogging through zombified hordes. Even though there's not many people around, it somehow feels fuller here. Everywhere we walk, we're surrounded by layered dunes and sandstones, towering over us, striped with faded reds and calico browns. Somehow we do eventually manage to find the Windstone Arch. Unlike the arches back in Utah, it isn't big and majestic. It's not a giant upside-down horseshoe that lords over us as we look in awe. It's not even an arch as much as it is a cave, really, just a jagged, overgrown rock with a few crevices big enough for a person to enter. Still, despite the fact that it doesn't compare to the size or grandeur of everything else we've seen together so far, and despite that it hardly took us any time at all to find it, it's still imposing. The longer I stare at it, the bigger it gets, like it's judging us. It isn't calling into question our abilities or even if we can find it, it's gauging us to see if we're ready. Are we? I look over to Marina. A small bulge forms in her throat before she swallows it back down. Is she? I return my gaze to the arch, asking the same questions over and over in my head. Am I? Finally, we look to each other. Marina readies the metal detector strapped to her back and gives me a nod, which I return. Everyone in VN's always strapping metal detectors to their backs. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. Even if we aren't ready, even if this is the worst mistake of my life, this is something both of us have to do. Our steps in sync, we march over the rocks and desert shrubs before crouching into the cavern. Sunlight squeezes into the cave, dyeing the rock columns neon red. Marina begins scanning with the metal detector, listening intently for a beep. The narrow space forces us to huddle together as we heave our way through the arch, repeatedly brushing against each other. At first it's accidental, but I find myself craving it more. To get closer, to feel her, to watch as her hair absorbs the brilliant glow of the cave. Deprived of all that, though, as her metal detector vibrates in her hand, making a low rumble. She takes off the headphones and points to the wall.
There.
I avert my gaze and move past her, taking a knee as I slip the bag off my shoulder and pull out a mandrel pickaxe. Careful not to hit her, I start chiseling away at the rock. Soon a crack in the wall grows and small pebbles and gravel start flying off. I reposition myself and block Marina from getting hit by any of it. The small portion of wall crumbles away and after a few more strikes reveals a hollow space just big enough to squeeze your hand into. This is gonna suck if some creepy thing has gone and made its home in there. Shuddering, I reach into the space and feel something square and wooden. With some budging, it comes free and easily slides out. A box. Its familiarity is expected, but it doesn't stop my heart from leaping any less, nor Marina's, who squeaks out a gasp. Ready? This time she barely nods. Unsure of what to say, but like ripping off a bandage, I swing the lid open before she can give any real answer. Nuggets. A pile of them filled from top to bottom, all misshapen and morphed. The sight isn't anything new, but this time it feels different. It's like, for the first time, the reality has finally sunk in and everything up until now has been a haze. We both just stare at it. An entire universe of thoughts race through my mind, yet it all comes up blank. What now? It's directed more towards myself than Marina, but it's the first thing I managed to spit out, and it's ultimately the most important. Marina doesn't answer it at first, instead just tilting her head trying to process the question, but finally she gives me a simple smile.
I saw a sign for a trail on the way over here. Why don't we go hiking?
Hiking? I freeze for a second and then laugh under my breath. The more I think about the simplicity behind her words, the more I laugh until I border on sounding like a hysterical madman. Hiking? For real? I keep laughing, struggling to keep it together even after I start having trouble breathing. Poor Marina isn't in on the joke, though, and within a matter of seconds, her face goes from confusion to concern, then pouting.
I don't know why you're laughing. I was being serious, you know?
Settling down, I wipe a fake tear from my eye, an occasional chuckle still managing to break through. No, I know you were.
Then what's so funny?
Nothing, it's just... I finally regain complete composure and smile at her. Yeah, sure, let's go hiking. That sounds nice. Can you please keep to the signs?
I will. Stop being such a worrywart.
Marina skips through the sand, gleefully oblivious that her trail is a badly marked patch of dirt over the plains of the Mojave. That's what you said last time. If you're not careful, we're going to get lost. Again.
Aw, you didn't like those old cabins we found?
It gets old after the second time, Mar. It kills daylight, too. The sun has faded to orange and will soon sink out of view. There's no way we're getting back before dark. But hey, maybe that's not such a bad thing. We already found the treasure, so spending some time with Marina is a nice reward.
So, about this fire wave thing. And yes, I know it's not an ocean of lava, smarty pants.
Damn, I must be running out of material.
It's an ocean of magma. I mean, it's
okay,
so cool. Well, hot, I guess.
How is it you managed to be both right and wrong at the same time? Hold on, I gotta get Mike back in position here. There we go. But what's the fire wave? It's a windy thing that winds around rocks and stuff and looks like windy is what I said.
Yeah.
At least it's what I think it was.
Oh.
A devilish grin slinks onto Marina's face, and she attaches herself to me like Velcro, nudging my shoulders.
You don't know what it is either, do you?
What? No, do so. Do so. Her grin grows until I force myself to look away. She's not going to get the satisfaction. I've seen pictures.
Oh, you've seen pictures. What sort of pictures?
You know, the picture-y kind. I can just feel her reveling in this. For the first time, she's got me playing right into her hands. Oh, shut up. I feel a slap against my wrist and then a tug. Looking down, I see Marina's bright dimples shining through her round cheeks.
Why don't we find out together?
I'm stunned. It's a position we've been in before, but it's supposed to be the other way around, because I'm always pulling her. That's my job. But now her smooth fingers locked around my wrist, her fingernails grazing above my skin. The realization doesn't even have time to sink in before she propels herself forward, with me in tow. Hey, wait, hold on! I kick up sand and grit as I'm practically dragged along by Marina, who meets my yelps with silence. Then she halts as quickly as she took off, leaving me to shoot forward and stumble to a stop. Could have at least warned me before you... Go silent. Marina does too. The fire wave. Swirling ribbons of red wrap around the hillside and stretch out onto the horizon. The setting sun casts light and shadow across the ground and sky, shading it all with intense golds, pinks, purples. As the sky dims, a shred of stray light passes over the shade and shines directly on us, directly on Marina. She stares on, silent. I can feel every glint of emotion coming from her, every breath taken away, every raw feeling that builds up inside her only to be choked back down. All of it. I glance between her and the scene stretched out before us. The pockets of sky with their deep, vivid colors are beautiful, but the choice is easy. I fixate on Marina, her clear, sweet blue eyes, her cute, round cheeks, her lips as they quiver ever so slightly. Laying a hand on her shoulder, I turn her towards me and softly touch her cheek. Her mouth slips open with a faint gasp, but all it takes is a gentle stroke of her face for that uncertainty to be wiped away. Marina holds my gaze. My eyes relax and I step closer so I can feel the warmth of her body against mine. Then I lean in and press my lips to hers. So soft. I keep myself pressed against her, letting my lips move with the natural flow. But she doesn't press back. Afraid, I pull away, but before I can step back, she pulls me closer and lets her lips melt into mine. I let the pattern take control. Our mouths move inside each other, full of tender caution as we ease in. We repeat the same process infinitely. Bathed in the light of the sunset, the two of us exchange something. I eventually pull back, unsure of what to say and scared of what I could. We turn back to find the last rays of sunlight slipping behind the sand. Something brushes against my hand, tickling for a moment before intertwining in my fingers. Her grip is loose, but I wrap my fingers around so that I'm holding her firmly. We watch the last light drift into a peaceful evening. Together.
It's pretty.
No, you.
No, you.
Yeah. Aww. That's the hardcore stuff.
Yeah. Hand holding and all.
I didn't realize we're gonna have to make this like X-rated.
I thought we didn't have the 18 plus patch.
We know there's an 18 plus patch for this game. We're not playing it because we learned our lesson. But it is free if you have this game. You can download it is free from the Studio Élan, so you can get the 18 up patch, which I recommend if you're not recording a video for YouTube. Oh God, what have I done? Her back is turned to me like mine is to hers. I claw my nails deeper into the scratchy couch fabric and stick my gaze on the floor. Please end me now. It was silent after we did that. Nice silence, a blissful release of silence, but as we walked back, terror started to sink in. I think she felt it too. I listened to the buzz of the generator and stare at a patch of artificial light on the wall. Stupid little box is making fun of me, I swear.
So, what now?
Funny. It's the same thing I asked when we found the treasure, except she sounds even more hopeless and confused than I did. Bringing my legs to my chest, I bundled my arms around them and put on a nervous smirk. We could always go hiking again. She throws a mock slap at my shoulder, feigning a huffy voice.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
The heavy embarrassment in the air melts away into something a little more comfortable, as we both manage to laugh at my perviness. Marina lets out a whiny cry and slides against the couch.
But seriously, what are we going to do?
About what?
About everything. All of the things.
What things? Be more specific.
The internet? I can never find what I'm looking for.
Wait, was that an AOC reference?
Yes, but it took me a moment to realize you meant Agents of Cracked and not Alexandria.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, yeah, sorry. Yeah, the other AOC.
Yeah.
God. In the year of our Lord 2021. Why I never.
The treasure home.
The what?
The treasure.
The what?
The treasure.
Could you one more time?
Yeah, the treasure.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
The treasure. Us.
My heart tightens like she's squeezing it. Did you not?
No, I did. I do. I just don't know.
She turns to me, her eyes pleading like she's looking for answers. There's no doubt I'm responsible for those eyes. Feeling a fierce sense of responsibility, I shoot up and march to the center console.
Amber?
Hold on. I open the console, but don't bother digging around. I know exactly where these are. 2 irreplaceable pieces of paper. Stopping in front of the couch, my voice darkens. I'll be using my half of the treasure to pay for Gramps' hospital and funeral expenses. But before I do that, I still need to go to the music festival. I offer her one of the tickets. Unsure, she gently tugs it from my hand and begins reading. If you want to, you can go with me. Might give you a little extra time to think about things. My voice softens. About everything.
The festival? Me?
Up to you, babe. I flop back on the couch and hold the ticket over my eyes to block out the light.
Oh?
Oh, crap. She peels the ticket off halfway and peeks through, revealing an amused grin.
So I'm babe now, huh?
On her hands and knees, Marina crawls ever so closer while I scramble to turn and hide my face. Shut up! Shut up! It was an accident. You can't prove it. Won't hold up in court. And now I'm back to where I started, mortified and embarrassed.
Amber.
No. Her voice is like a melody. Shut up.
Amber.
No, I said shut up.
Oh, Amber.
What? A tank engine plows into my back, followed by soft, gentle arms wrapping around my neck as she rests her head against mine.
Thank you.
My shoulders relax, embracing her. In turn, I rest my head on hers, too. A head sandwich. Headwich. Sure thing, kiddo. Once we're quiet, the awkwardness sets in again, where I don't know if I should be saying something to fill the silence or if I should leave it be. Is she thinking the same thing? Is she also worried? A sneak glance after worried glance down, but I can't see her face. Her hands wander around like she doesn't know what to do. She touches her face, then scratches her leg, picks out a fold in her shirt, pops her knuckles. So she is nervous. Hey. The top of her head bumps my chin as she flinches.
Hey.
Are you good?
Yeah.
You don't seem good.
Oh, fuck. Maybe I've had an alignment shift.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to get one of those, but it will happen.
No, I am sorry. I'm just...
Rather than hurry her along like I sometimes do, I wait for her to find the words.
Just worried, I guess. I know you have, but I've never had a girlfriend before.
I start to say something, but she hurriedly cuts me off.
I don't mean it like that. Well, I do, but I've also never had a boyfriend before. Not a real one, anyway.
You had a fake boyfriend, though?
Barely. Like in middle school, there was this guy who asked if I'd be his girlfriend, and I said okay. But then the next day, he said his mom told him he wasn't allowed to have a girlfriend, so we broke up.
Sounds brutal.
Right? And then junior year of high school, I kind of dated this guy for like a month, but I didn't really like him. My friends just wanted me to.
That's screwed up.
I don't know, not really. They weren't trying to be mean or anything, and he wasn't a bad person. He was just boring. Like, for our first date, we went to dinner and a movie, but dinner was just fast food, and he spilled ketchup all over himself. I don't even remember what movie we saw. He put his arm on the back of my chair, and I thought he was trying to put his arm around me, so I kind of got closer, but nope, he just kept it up there. Like he was just stretching.
She giggles at the memory.
Honestly, I'd forgotten all about that until now. That's how not a real boyfriend he was. What about you?
I'm glad that right now things seem normal. Maybe if she's talking, she forgets about being worried. Well, I've never had a boyfriend. Marina punches me in the shoulder.
You know what I meant. I could have guessed that much.
Hey now, I'm just being clear, but yeah, I've had other girlfriends. Isn't it bad manners to talk about this? Especially early in a relationship? She asked, though. They counted, though it wasn't really anything serious either. By the time I was old enough for a serious relationship, I was too busy with taking care of Gramps to focus on one. But at least no one's mom ever told them they had to break up with me.
Listen, it was hard when I was 12. For like a day or two.
I'll bet. Anyway, yeah, there was this girl I was with through a chunk of high school. We broke up in junior year, I think. She wanted to focus on school. She ended up getting a full ride to a nice college, so I guess she made the right call. Marina doesn't miss a beat.
Nah, it was her loss.
I shift to free my arm that's pressed against Marina's side and instead wrap it around her. I'm beginning to think this game might be a little gay.
Yeah?
I don't know about any of y'all, but I think this game might be a little gay. At first I can feel her tense up, but then she gradually relaxes until most of her weight rests on me.
So, Amber.
Yeah, that's me. Huh? She doesn't answer. Mar.
Sorry, never mind.
She looks up and smiles at me, and I smile back. Maybe it's better not to think too much right now or ask too many questions. It's just the two of us being happy with each other. Not minding that we're both sweaty and kind of gross right now. We haven't eaten in hours, or so I think. It's not long before she yawns and looks up at me apologetically.
Huh?
It's okay, I'm kind of tired too. I'm not, I'm too excited still, but I don't want to feel bad her to feel bad about going to bed. Plus, we did do a lot of hiking today. I unwind my arm from her and switch hand.
Yeah? Almost there.
Help me.
I believe in you.
Help.
You can do it. You can do it.
I unwind my arm from around her and switch which hand holds hers so that we can stand up. God, that was a guarded path. She's fidgety again, shifting her weight from foot to foot. Well, I guess it'll take some getting used to, for both of us. I let go of her hand and it falls limply back to her side like she's lost control of it. Looking me in the eye, I can tell she's waiting for me to do or say something. I take a step towards her, closing the short distance between us. Well? Good night. And then I lean in and kiss her again. Briefly, enough that she doesn't really have time to react before I pull away. She blinks twice and then rubs her lips and smiles.
Good night.
She walks backwards away from me, still smiling, and I'm grinning like an idiot too, of course. I'm tempted, so tempted, to invite her to sleep in my bed just to be close to her still, but I don't. Since she's still so nervous and unsure, I don't want to make that harder for her. Plus, tucking in your partner is uber gay. Very cute, very adorable, very gay. I lick my lips as I go to turn off the lights, still tasting the sweetness of her on them. And as I climb into bed, listening for the sounds of her breathing, I don't expect to get much sleep of my own tonight. Explicit material.
Wow.
In my YouTube Let's Play?
Wow. We're going to get arrested for YouTube
We're going to
crimes.
get arrested for... No, we're not. If we're ever going to get arrested for YouTube crimes, it'll be for fucking Sayonara.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Sleeping on it is supposed to help you with tough decisions or with big changes, but that's hard when you can't pass out in the first place. Thoughts of Marina and of Gramps and of things changing and of things staying the same all brewed together to keep me awake just like the coffee is right now. When I got up this morning, the first thing I felt was surprise that I'd managed to sleep at all. The 3 hours I got must have snuck up on me. I drain another cup of coffee. Number 4, the last one from this pot, and dump another few scoops of grounds into the coffee maker and start a new batch. I got to see the sunrise, which even I usually sleep through. Out here in the middle of nowhere with no light pollution, the sky was vivid, shards of jagged pink tearing into the blue. I nearly dozed off again just watching. Maybe someday I'll get to watch it with Marina. Someday when I wake up early again, and if she manages to get her lazy ass out of bed. Lazy but cute. Did she just sleep mutter? Yesterday's events replay in my mind for the upteenth time, and with them come the swirl of emotions that feel like a stomach ache and a high, both at once. Things finally starting to feel normal between us again. Kissing Marina at the Valley of Fire, her leaning into it, wondering if I should stop, her not letting me. Sitting close on the couch, not asking any questions, not answering them either, wondering if I should. Ugh, it's too early for this shit. The familiar ping of the coffee maker tells me that I've been zoned out for a few minutes now. Smashing my fists into my eyes, I rub the sleepiness out. Damn you eyes! Damn you! Movement from the back of the RV means that I must have woken Marina up. I can hear the sound of her bed creaking and the covers being thrown back. I feel a strange, nervous elation as she appears in the hallway, looking bedraggled. Good morrow. How's the day find you? She groans like a zombie and stumbles towards me. Want some coffee? A stiff head nod. Smiling, I prepare her a cup. It's only half coffee, the other half is a boatload of sugar in the creamer that neither Gramps nor I ever drank. Don't even know when we had it, but it's unexpired. When she reaches me, Marina leans into me, sort of falls, really, crushing against my shoulder. Hey, careful! A bit of coffee sloshes out of the mug and onto my hand, but I don't mind. She takes the drink in a couple small sips. Minor bliss replaces her glazed expression. You good?
Good.
There's hardly any coffee in it, you know.
Just the way I like it.
I wonder if she had a hard time falling asleep like I did, but I'm hesitant to ask. Afraid she'd say no. Afraid she'd say yes. So I just sit down and she takes a spot next to me. We both quietly sip our coffee as she rejoins the land of the living. Once she finishes her first cup, she's alert enough for a conversation. Sleep okay? I figure that's safer than flat out asking.
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda? She trails off. Maybe I gave her alertness too much credit.
I forgot what I was just saying.
I laugh and stand up. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to you in like 20.
Okay.
Marina mumbles something incoherent.
Do better.
What was that? She clears her throat.
Sorry, I asked if you slept all right.
Took me a while to fall asleep, but after that, yeah. It's not strictly a lie. Eyes half closed, Marina smiles thinly.
Good.
Marina shines. Dumby. Her multi-shining is on point. I turn around so that she doesn't see how preoccupied I am or guess what's on my mind.
Okay, but for actuals, what would each of their smash mains be?
Smash melee or just smash ultimate?
Let's do Smash Ultimate. We got the whole roster.
Okay. Let's see. Well, Amber is kind of no nonsense. Doesn't really like to go into that much thought about things, right? But
Mario, because he's first in the menu.
Maybe. I was gonna say she's gonna pick a fighter that will get stuff done without too much flourish, without too much, no insane tech. Pretty honest, I'd say. I think she'd main Ike.
Okay.
I think she'd main Ike.
All right.
And
that's respectable.
Yeah, and she'd probably use the Radiant Dawn version of Ike.
I don't know what that means, but I'll pretend.
All right. What about Marina?
Well.
She already is associated with a character in my head, but I'm interested in what you will pick up on.
I don't know. I was thinking either Peach or female skin villager.
Really? Really? What's the reasoning behind that?
I have no reasoning, just a gut feeling.
In my head, Marina is associated with Inklings.
Oh yeah,
because of Pearl and Marina from Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that she'd actually play Inkling. But,
they put me in the game.
They did. They put you in the game. Plus, let's be honest. This if there is actually a console in this, it's attached to a CRT, and it's probably a GameCube. Whatever. Anyway.
That was really important. Thank you.
I don't know that it was important, but I'm glad we did it nonetheless. Whatever it is that I'm dealing with, it's not her problem. I don't want her to worry about me. I want her to be my partner, but I don't want her to worry about me.
I can't get up. I'm gay.
This is homophobia. The floor. You all right over there? It wasn't that funny.
It was pretty funny.
The floor creaks as Marina stands up too, but I don't face her.
So, where are we going today?
No idea. We have a few days before the show. Anything you want to see? Whatever it is, I'll make the trip.
We are not very far from Las Vegas, right?
Not at all. It's just a couple of hours.
Let's go there.
Finally, I meet her eyes again. The smile on her face is pure and earnest, and I can't help but return it.
I fucking love gambling.
Sir, we need to have a different conversation. Sure, that sounds like fun. And she hugs me. Her warm figure is pressed close against mine. She smells like my shampoo. I wrap my arms around her and hold her close. Just for a second, everything feels right. Like it's all gonna work out. And I realize how badly I want it to. I squeeze tight and then pull away. What was that for?
Just felt like it.
Worry creases her face.
Should I not?
Nah, no, definitely. You definitely should. Go get dressed and then I'll get us on the road. You cool with waiting to eat until we get there?
Yeah.
Cool. There are a million buffets and exotic restaurants there, so we can find something good.
I like Las Vegas already.
You say that. We haven't gotten there yet, dork. I gently push her towards the back to go get ready. She sticks her tongue out over her shoulder as she goes. Regrets! Watching, I rub my temple before climbing into the front seat. I'm looking forward to this, and I know Marina is too. So why does it feel like I'm doing something wrong? For a long moment, I just press my forehead against the steering wheel, not thinking much of anything. The sound of Marina's approaching footsteps makes me sit up, and I put on a smile as she hops into her spot. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go, then. And we head out towards the highway. Las Vegas appears on the horizon far before we actually reach it. Clusters of generic skyscrapers are interspersed with the world-famous casinos, which come in many shapes and sizes. Some are indistinguishable from the tall banks and offices around them, except for gaudy logos and signs. Others are constructed to look like a pyramid or a Roman palace or a medieval castle. There's a distinct clash where some buildings are striking and clean-looking as if they'd just been completed yesterday, but then just beside them will be a sad-looking place with a faded paint and signs that aren't supposed to be flickering. As we enter the city limits, we're suddenly surrounded by noise of traffic and the smell of exhaust. Exiting the highway was like crossing a boundary to another world. Marina drinks it all in.
Oh, what's that one? The super tall one.
She points through the windshield. Even though it's impossible to follow her finger, I know which one she's talking about. That's the Stratosphere. I think it's one of the tallest buildings in the country.
Whoa.
We're still miles out, but she already seems to be infatuated with the city. Her eyes are wide, and so is her mouth. It's even cooler up close.
I never knew cities could be this huge.
I keep forgetting that she's never been out of New Mexico. I'm sure there are a couple of decently sized cities there, but nothing this impressive. I'm excited for her to experience this all for the first time. Honestly, Las Vegas is kind of on the small side, at least compared to places like New York or Chicago.
Seriously? That's insane. I can't imagine that many people in one place.
Yeah, it's really strange going to like a major city when you haven't been there for the first time. Like, I know I talk about, how we live in the city, but we live in fucking Vermont. Our city is barely cracks the top 1,000 in the U.S.
Wait, it cracks the top 1,000?
Last I checked, I believe it was 996.
Holy fuck. I didn't know that. Let's celebrate.
So, like, going to New York City or Montreal for the first time was such an alien experience. It was... I don't quote me on that anymore. I don't know if that number is still up to date, but... Anyway.
I didn't grow up here originally, so it was kind of the flip side when I moved up here.
And the city was this quaint little thing that you could walk across in a day.
Yeah, but it was good because I was used to cities that were utterly unwalkable and designed for cars only. And
That's
it's like,
what I keep
wait,
hearing, yeah.
I'm a kid and I can go out and go to the store at the corner and buy my soda, and then I can go down to the school and I can play around in the playground and I can just walk wherever. What the fuck?
I read about, like, is it Houston that keeps getting mentioned as like the worst city to try to walk in?
I can believe that. It's not great.
I keep hearing one of the places in Texas mentioned as just like cities that are not designed for walking, and I can't fathom that. Like, why would you get so many people in one place and make it impossible for them to get to where they need to go without, taking up the most cumbersome mode of transportation possible?
Gotta love it.
Yeah, I don't think you gotta.
You don't.
Okay. Anyway, what about your house? She giggles.
That's pretty close.
She reminds me of a puppy, straining against its leash as she whips between looking out the windshield and out the passenger side window. To me, the part of the city we're in looks like any other downtown area, so I'm not impressed. Once we get to the strip where all the really famous casinos are located, it'll be different. But first, I have another destination in mind. So, Mar.
Yeah?
Ever heard of the World Carnival Buffet at the Rio?
I don't think so. Should I?
Well, if you like food, it's pretty much the greatest place on earth. They have like everything imaginable to eat and lots of stuff that you can't imagine either.
Oh, how does that even
Somehow her eyes
work?
get even wider, right? I know.
Like, I can see it and I can have it on my plate and eat it, but I can't imagine. I can't conceptualize
you
of it.
You literally cannot.
That's Lovecraftian. I want to try it.
Pretty sure you'll change your mind when you see some of it, but that's the spirit.
Are we going there now?
Hell yeah, we are. I'm starving.
Me too.
And she grabs my free hand, the one that isn't on the steering wheel. My heart leaps into my throat. Since we're at a red light, I catch her eye, and she smiles, though her face is a little red. I smile back, but then face forward. Our hands hang limply between our seats. It isn't long before our palms are moist with sweat, and I don't know whose. Her hand is so soft, like she treats it with lotion or something, but I know that's not the case. Smooth like a baby's. Makes me a little self-conscious of my chewed fingernails and chronically dry skin. Worried that I'm going to gross her out and she'll pull away or something.
Is this okay?
Huh? Maybe I was getting a little too distracted. Is what? She raises our linked hands.
This. You just seemed kinda... Like, I mean, I can not if you...
What? No, it's fine, seriously. I'm talking louder than I need to, flustered as I try to backpedal. She doesn't look convinced.
Okay, sorry, I'm still, not really...
It's fine. You're fine. Really. I'm the one who should be sorry. I'm not usually this weird in a relationship. Now she looks almost offended. Crap. No, not like that. I just mean... A blaring honk from behind reminds me that I'm stopped at a green light. The middle of traffic isn't the best place for this conversation. Breathing deeply as we pull ahead, I try to collect my thoughts. Sorry. Again, I have a lot on my mind. Because I like you, I really do, and you know that really freaking well by now. She smiles, though she's still looking down and our hands are still together. This is such an awkward time and place to be talking about this. So it is my bad if I'm being weird or wherever, but being with a girl I met on the side of the road is a new one, even for me, you know? Finally, she laughs.
Yeah, I guess it's a little weird.
I feel like I can still hear a slight quiver in her voice, but I might be imagining it. So I squeeze her hand tightly. Immediately, she squeezes back. I only have a vague idea of the direction we need to be driving. Fortunately, it isn't too long till the Rio comes into view, looming large a few miles away. We pull into the parking lot near the back where the only open spaces are left. It's pleasantly warm outside. I've heard stories of people's shoes melting on the asphalt during the summer, but for now, the weather's perfect. As we cross through the parking lot towards the casino, Marina takes my hand yet again. I can feel my heart rate accelerate, but I squeeze her fingers all the same. The first few steps inside are sensory overload. A million different sounds and a billion different lights all pour from the sea of slot machines. Even at lunchtime on a Thursday, the majority are occupied. We both take a second, frozen in place, to try to process it all. This isn't even my first time in a casino, but I'm overwhelmed just like Marina. I can see the reflections of a game in her eyes like a cartoon character thinking of money.
Whoa!
Yeah. Whoa.
Is this one of the most popular casinos?
Not even close. Like, it's big, but it's not the biggest.
Whoa.
I tug her forward. Come on, we'll have tons of time to gawk with food in our stomachs. The mention of food steadies her steps. Giant overhead signs direct the way to the buffet. That must be visible from any part of the building. This place is famous for something besides the food. I don't know what it is. We can smell it before we see it, even despite the stench of cigarettes and BO that are pretty strong here. It doesn't smell like any one particular food item, but rather lots and lots of them. Guided by our stomachs, we half run towards the buffet. The line to get in is small, since we got here so early. Marina hops up and down, trying to peek over the head of the bald guy in front of us. Can you see anything?
Barely. It looks like it goes on forever.
Good. I practically throw my card at the attendant. It reminds me of paying to enter an amusement park, and I'm just as excited. We're let through a small gate and into heaven. Rows upon rows of stations form a small maze in the massive room. Deep bins full of food, fried or grilled or baked or roasted, fill nearly every inch of space in each station. Marina and I grab plates from the small snacks nearby. Meet you in the dining room? She nods, already distracted, and heads straight for the desserts.
Ha ha! That's how you do it.
I load my plate with a slice of prime rib, 2 rolls, and a scoop of mashed potatoes. I pour gravy over them, letting it run down and soak into everything else. For good measure, I also throw in a pair of chicken wings from a nearby basket. They're so fresh that I can see the steam coming off of them. I'm gonna need a second plate. I grab one off another pile and toss a small piece of salmon, some pot stickers from the Asian section, and a large spoonful of some sort of casserole. Can't even guess what it is, but it looks good. Everything looks good. Solely because I can't fit any more food on my plate, I head to the dining area and pick a seat where Marina will be able to find me easily. Sure enough, she emerges just a minute later carrying 2 plates like I did. Wow, you weren't kidding about trying everything. Instead of big portions like a few things like I got, Marina has 1 or 2 bites of a couple dozen dishes. Roughly half of them are cakes or other sweets.
When in Rome, you know?
I slice off a bit of steak and close my eyes in ecstasy while I chew. It's divine. Holy cow. Because it's steak. Get it?
Got him.
Barely balancing her plates as she slides into the seat beside me, Marina bumps against my shoulder as she gets situated, and I almost send a forkful of potatoes into her lap.
Whoops, my bad.
In retaliation, I spear a bite of chicken from her plate, swimming in some Asian sauce.
No fair.
It's double fair.
That doesn't even make sense.
You don't even make sense.
Ah!
After that, she finally gets to take her first bite, and she melts. Just like me, her eyes roll back into her head while she chews.
I don't even remember what this is, but it's amazing.
She scoops up another forkful of what looks like some kind of barbecue brisket and holds it towards me.
Try it.
I open my mouth and she guides the fork in. I pull back to chew. It's got a nice smoky flavor. That is good.
Right? I almost want to go get a whole plate of just that.
Then she tries the baked chicken that she has next to it.
Wait, never mind. This is even better.
There's a distinct lack of vegetables on both of her plates, but she seems to enjoy everything that she got. Every bite results in some statement about how it's the best thing so far. Did you get any of this? I gesture towards the slice of steak that I've almost finished. Okay, open up. Here comes the plane. She dutifully opens her mouth while I cut off a bite for her. It's the best part, right near the edge where all the flavor is. It's a little awkward to be feeding her like this, but no one pays any attention to us. When she swallows, she sits still. Very slowly, she opens her eyes again.
That was literally the best thing I've ever eaten.
You've said that like 20 times so far.
I mean it this time. That was illegally good.
Illegally good? Now that doesn't make any sense.
It makes double sense.
You make double sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We laugh. Gramps always used to say the best place to get steak was buffets like this. I guess they're always better because you can just go up and get slice after slice. He's the only person I ever met who could eat more than one. Marina chuckles with me, but it's nervous sounding. I used to tease him for it. No one should be able to eat that much meat. He would always complain about him being too done. Cooked his own steaks to be kind of medium rare, closer to rare.
Gross.
And don't tell me you eat yours well done. Marina, I don't know if we can still be together. She looks pained. I'm just kidding, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But it doesn't sound like it. I shut up. It's probably not a good idea to talk about Gramps too much either. Our plates are mostly empty and I look back at the serving area dubiously. Round 2? She thinks about it, then shakes her head.
I think I'd explode if I ate much more.
Yeah, same. There's a soft flutter in my cheek as Marina leans over and kisses it.
Thank you for bringing me.
Aw. Yeah, no problem. Huh. I intently examine the hard plastic bench I'm sitting on. Too long passes by before I talk again. So are you, ready to go?
Oh, sure.
I can tell how on edge she is again. Good going, Amber. Nice. I launch to my feet. Just leave the dishes on the table. Someone will come by to clean them up. I have no idea if that's true. I start to leave, expecting Marina to follow me.
Amber.
That's my name. But I turn around, she's still in the process of getting up.
Wait for me.
First, she has to brush her face with a napkin, then she drains the glass of orange juice she was drinking. Then she scoots out of the booth and hurries towards me.
Are you all right?
Yeah, sorry, I just felt kind of nauseous for a second. I probably ate too much.
Oh.
I doubt she's buying it. From the corner of my eye, I see her reach toward my hand. Then she seems to think better of it and lets hers fall back to her side. I grab it myself as I lead the way out of the casino. Outside, I take Marina's hand, but it feels limp inside my own. I let her lead the way down the street and towards the busiest part of the city. Sometimes the stuff on the side catches our eye, brightly colored sports cars that probably belong to millionaires pass by us pretty frequently. There are also people in bike-drawn carriages, double-decker tour buses. Beside the people, the buildings themselves all compete to stand out. Almost every storefront has something neon flashing to get you a look at it. Toy stores, restaurants, sex shops, and more all vie for real estate. Within a 2-block radius, you could probably buy anything you ever wanted. Maybe half a mile ahead of us, on the other side of the road, there are a few street vendors on the sidewalk. They have awnings set up to shade themselves in their merchandise, though it's far too away to see what they're selling. Marina spots them and points.
Oh, let's go look.
But then her excitement vanishes.
I mean, if you want to.
Yeah, let's check it out. With a hopeful smile, Marina starts to run. A red light at the crosswalk makes her stop, but not too far ahead, though. I catch up just in time for the light to change. Before she can dart away, I take Marina's hand. She doesn't object, but she searches my face, so I smile, and she smiles back. I let her pull me to the vendor, who seems to be selling a little bit of everything. T-shirts cover most of the wire rack that serves as a wall. There are also bins of buttons, keychains, and other small trinkets. One bin is full of tiny soapstone and animal carvings. Those are what Marina goes for. I ignore the vendor and his weaselly small talk, refusing to be conned into buying tons of junk. After a minute, Maria selects this little stone coyote. I pay $5 for it, practically robbery. Little stone coyote. How do you pronounce it? Coyote or coyote?
I always said coyote.
Okay. We start down the road again with Marina inspecting her new treasure. Why a coyote?
I thought she was the cutest. Look at the way the color changes here.
She holds the little trinket up by my nose. There's a spot where the color changes from brown to a milky white on one side of its face. That is pretty.
Mm-hmm. Plus, wolves are pretty much my favorite animal, and coyotes are close enough.
Yeah? Have you ever seen a real live wolf?
No, I wish. You?
At Yellowstone a couple years ago, yeah. I begged Gramps to take me. As soon as I mention Gramps' name, I see Marina's eyes flit towards mine.
What else do they have there?
All kinds of stuff. Wolves, bears, buffalo, elk, deer. Pretty much any kind of forest animal. Also, I feel like we shouldn't get too far before we acknowledge this. I think we now know who Marina's persona is.
And they just wander around, right?
Yeah, there are even places where you can feed some of them out of your car.
What about the meat eaters, like wolves and stuff?
There are spots where you can see them, but you can't feed them. They're still wild animals. It's not a zoo or anything.
I want to go there someday.
I'll take you to see them sometime. It's a cool place.
Really?
Yeah, sure. I try to play it off like it's not a big deal to me, but talking about future plans, anything that would happen after the festival ignites that sense of uncertainty in my chest. The way her eyes light up when I promise to take her both soothes and agitates the feeling. No matter what, I'm happy that she is happy. I follow behind as she darts from stall to stall like a hummingbird. They all offer more of the same generic desert-themed trinkets or gaudy I Love Vegas merchandise. The sidewalks are full of these vendors who shout and try to get the attention of all the dozens of people who pass by. Marina's the only one who gets hooked in, but she doesn't ask for anything else. Maybe there just isn't enough wolf merchandise. Hey, question. I've got a t-shirt that you might be interested in.
Yeah?
So it's got not one wolf, not two wolves, but 3 wolves on it.
How is that possible?
And get this, there's also a moon.
That's my other favorite animal. Wow. Thanks, Amber. It's perfect.
Can't. Every time she dives in to examine someone's wares, I hang back with my hands in my pockets and watch. Once she's done, we hold hands again. It's a nice cycle. But all that changes once we reach the strip itself with its electric architecture and eccentric population. I point out some of the more famous places like the Luxor, which is shaped like a pyramid, and Caesar's Palace, which looks like it was stolen from Rome. Marina oohs and ahs all in the right places, though to my surprise she doesn't try to lead us to them. Instead, she seems dead set on taking us further and further down the row of sidewalk salesmen, like she's looking for something in particular. Not that I have any idea what that is. She leads the way, looking from side to side, but never seeming quite to find it. Until suddenly she freezes in place. A large wave of pedestrian traffic behind us crests and spills around like we're not even there. Marina points ahead at one of the street vendors a few blocks ahead.
Found one.
I'm yanked forward once again, being dragged by her newfound enthusiasm. Rather than a bunch of cheaply made goods, the merchant she's noticed has a bunch of colored drawings of cartoon characters, barely recognizable due to the exaggerated style. A sign beside them advertises custom commissions, $30 each. I immediately understand what it is Marina wants. Nope. I try to drag my heels, but I'm tugged along by Marina. She is surprisingly strong when she wants to be.
Amber.
She says my name without even turning around.
This has been on my bucket list for years. It's happening.
What has? Getting ripped off by a street artist?
Having someone draw me.
Plus, they charge a fair price for the amount of work that they do. You need to value artists and their work. My protest going ignored. I follow in step and accept my fate. The guy I met in the booth looks like he's completely out of place. He's wearing a flashy Hawaiian shirt and a baseball cap. When he notices Marina and I approaching, he sits up from his slouching position and grins. Do you want to be the artist?
Hello, ladies.
Real cool artist. Son of a bitch.
Hi there. We were interested in having our portrait drawn.
We weren't. You were. But I don't protest. I've resigned myself to going along with whatever she wanted.
Perfect.
He frames us with his fingers like he's going to take a picture.
You girls stand right there and get comfy. I'll get ready.
He lurches off his wooden chair and grabs a sketch pad and a box of pencils.
We'll do you two in color. How's that sound?
Great.
I just grimace. I'm not fond of having my picture taken, and this isn't much better. I just never feel satisfied with how I look. That's why there aren't many pictures of Gramps and me, just a couple. I'll deal with it for Marina's sake. We stand under an awning, though its shade does little to help the heat. Marina shifts from foot to foot while I just watch with my hands in my pockets. Every so often she turns to beam at me, though she doesn't say anything. Jeez, not sure why she's so hyped up, but it's cute. The guy finally gets his stuff ready, all set up on an easel. The piece of paper he's using is almost the size of my torso.
Go ahead and scrunch together now.
He makes a motion with his hands. Marina stands near me and I wrap one arm around her.
Closer.
Our shoulders are touching.
Closer.
Now we're cheek to cheek.
Perfect.
And he stares at us with a smile for just a second longer than is comfortable. Makes his expression seem a little more than sleazy, but before I can change my mind, he looks down at the paper and starts to draw. We stand there, not talking nor moving at all. Once Marina starts to ask something, but he waves his hand without even looking up.
Quiet, if you move, you'll mess it all up.
So she shuts up. I can feel her jaw snap shut since it's smooshed against my own. Smooshed.
Smoosh.
15 minutes pass. My mouth is starting to get sore. I don't have any guesses as to how long this would take, but it's starting to get annoying. Even Marina seems to be having second thoughts. She wriggles just barely, probably to fight the growing tension in her muscles. Not enough to ruin the drawing, though. From the corner of my eye, I notice a couple of the glances that we get. We probably don't look especially out of place, but more like hapless tourists who get conned into something. I guess we are, to an extent. What a mind, except that we also look ridiculous being stuck together like nearly Siamese twins. Our artist draws with long, swift strokes, though I can see what he's doing. Though I can't see what he's doing, he appears confident. Hopefully the result is worth the discomfort. And at the $30. I'm nearly at my breaking point when he finally leans back and sets his pencils aside.
Done.
Marina peels away from me instantly, leaving a damp spot of shared sweat on my face. I rub at it as I follow her, more slowly to see the results. Do we get to see it? She cranes around the easel. To look, I watch her expression go from excited to overjoyed. Her smile widens into a grin as she grasps the drawing in her hands.
Amber, look, it's us.
Oh, okay, that's actually cute, though. Look at them.
Yeah.
Oh, smoosh.
Smoosh.
Don't you want to get smooshed?
Yeah.
She flips it around so I can see. It's us. First thing I notice is my boobs. They're a lot larger than in real life. Same with Maria's. Kinda. Other than that, the drawing is cartoony. We're recognizable, but our features are exaggerated. Marina's eyes are almost comically huge. In contrast, the buildings behind us in the drawing are sharply defined and realistic. Clutching the paper to her chest, Marina sighs a contented smile.
Thank you so much.
The artist wipes his sweaty palms on his shorts as he stands.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Looks at me expectantly. The sigh, I pull out my wallet and pass him a pair of wrinkled bills. Pass it to him with a nod.
Y'all have a lovely day now.
With that, he slouches down again and pulls out a cheap-looking paperback novel. The drawing is still close to Marina's chest like a priceless artifact. Every few seconds, she holds it away from her and grins as she looks at it. That makes it worth the cost. Finally, Marina rolls up the drawing like a scroll and tucks it under her arm for safekeeping. We stand in the shade of the awning while we look up and down the road.
We should split up for a little bit.
Gasp! What?
What a twist.
I can't help but yelp. That was the last thing I was expecting.
Not for long. There's just something I want to do. And you can't be there.
Why? Why not? Shuffling in place, Marina looks away.
'Cause it's a surprise.
Mar, no, this isn't some small town. This is Las Vegas. What if you get lost or some creeper tries to mess with you?
It'll be fine, Amber. There's like 1 million people on this street.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean anything.
I mean it. It'll be fine.
There's a fire in her voice that takes me by surprise. There's even a small spark in her eyes like she's angry. My frown deepens. But...
Seriously, it's nothing bad, I promise. I just want to do something. But it's a surprise for you, so you can't be there.
Her face softens.
Please? It'll only be a couple hours.
Marina, I don't know. Of all the cities to split up in, this is one of the worst. Not only do we not have a way to contact each other if needed, but the people are just the sort you can't trust. If I leave her on her own, there's a good chance I'd never see her again. But the way she stands there, hands on her hips, looking determined, makes me not want to argue. I sigh. Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean it. Just give me 3 hours.
That's a long time.
You think? I tried to keep it short.
In 3 hours, she could be snatched into someone's car and well into Arizona, or California, or halfway to Reno. It's irresponsible of me to let her go, but I can tell just by looking at her that I don't have a choice. Okay, fine, but can you at least stay on this street? Straight shot back to the Rio where we're parked, and it'd be harder to get lost. Marina nods fast.
That's fine. I already saw where I need to go, but you're not allowed to watch, okay?
Yeah. I'll probably just go back to the car anyway. Now she frowns.
Isn't there anything you want to see?
Not without you.
Aw, Amber.
She kicks at the ground.
I guess we don't have...
No, go on.
What?
Just be safe, okay? Don't do anything silly. I guess it'll be fine for a couple of hours. Takes the drawing in one hand, then hugs me tight. Then Marina leans up and kisses me on the lips. She pulls away before I can get into it.
Okay, I'll see you in a while then.
Right. We stand there, neither of us moving. I sigh again, then trudge back down the road. I glance back every few steps, but she doesn't move. Instead, she watches me and waves. Probably making sure that I keep good on my promise not to follow her. As tempting as it is, I'll let her go for now. 3 hours can't be that hard. Or can they be? Find out
in 3 hours.
And it's going to be longer than that, but
it might not be if you watch the next video 3 hours after this one, which we recommend for the realism.
What
you
impresses
can amp
me
it
is
up
that,
by watching them in Las Vegas.
What impresses me is that we seem to be done with the treasure hunt, which seemed to be the whole hook for this story.
And there's still at least
like
a third of it left.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not complaining, not by any stretch, but like, it seems strange.
Maybe the real treasure was the girlfriends we made along the way.
Aw, that's adorable. Join us next time.
Good game.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.